Hello guys, since I will start doing SCP videos and most of my viewers aren't really into that stuff, considering that's not the type of videos I upload, I will read everything about the background about the SCP Foundation. And we're starting off with about the Foundation. Also, if you're a fan of the background, it's really hot in Arizona right now, so. Mankind in its present state has been around for 250,000 years, yet only the last 4,000 years have been of any significance. So what did we do for nearly 250,000 years? We huddled in caves and around small fires, fearful of the things that we didn't understand. It was more than explaining why the sun came up. It was the mystery of enormous birds with heads of men, and rocks that came to life. So we called them gods and demons, begged them to spare us, and prayed for salvation. In time, their numbers dwindled and ours rose. The world began to make more sense when there were fewer things to fear. Yet the unexplained can never truly go away, as the universe demands the absurd and impossible. Mankind must not go back to hiding in fear. No one else will protect us, and we must stand up for ourselves. While the rest of mankind dwells in the light, we must stand in the darkness to fight it, contain it, and shield it from the eyes of the public, so that others may live in sane and normal world. We secure, we contain, we protect. The Administrator. Mission Statement. Operating clandestine and worldwide, the Foundation operates beyond jurisdiction, empowered and entrusted by every major national government with the task of containing anomalous objects, entities, and phenomenon. These anomalies pose a significant threat to global security by threatening either physical or physiological harm. The Foundation operates to maintain normalcy so that the worldwide civilian population can live and go on with their daily lives without fear, mistrust, or doubt in their personal beliefs, and to maintain human independence from extraterrestrial, extra-dimensional, and other extra-normal influence. Our mission is threefold. Secure. The Foundation secures anomalies with the goal of preventing them from falling into the hands of civilian or rival agencies. Though extensive observation and surveillance and by acting to intercept such anomalies at the earliest opportunity. Contain. The Foundation contains anomalies with the goal of preventing the influence or effects from spreading by either relocating, concealing, or dismantling such anomalies, or by suppressing or preventing the public dissemination of knowledge thereof. Protect. The Foundation protects humanity from the effects such as anomalies as well as the anomalies themselves, until such time they are either fully understood or new theories of science can be devised based on their properties and behavior. The Foundation may also neutralize or destroy anomalies as an option of the last resort. They are determined to be dangerous or to be contained. Foundation operations. Foundation covert and clandestine operations are undertaken across the globe in pursuit of primary missions. Special containment procedures. The Foundation maintains an extensive database of information regarding anomalies requiring special containment procedures, commonly referred to as SCPs. The primary Foundation database contains summaries of such anomalies and emergency procedures for maintaining or re-establishing safe containment in the case of containment breach or other event. Anomalies may take many forms, be it an entity, a location, or a freestanding phenomenon. These anomalies are categorized into one of several object classes, either contained at one of the Foundation's MIRAD secure facilities or contained on-site if relocation is deemed unfeasible. Operational security. The Foundation operates with the utmost secrecy. All Foundation personnel must avert the security clearance levels, as we all need to know, as well as need to know in compartmental of information. Personnel found in violation of Foundation security protocols will be identified, detained, and subject to disciplinary action. Rival agency and group of interest. The Foundation is not only an organization with knowledge and capability to interact with or utilize anomalies. While some of these groups of interest have similar goals and may cooperate with us on issues of global security, many more are opportunistic and profit-oriented, seeking to adapt or use anomalies to their own ends. Foundation personnel are instructed to treat individuals from such groups with suspicion at all times. In collaboration with such groups without the explicit prior consent of Foundation leadership will cause for termination or other disciplinary action. Object classes. All anomalous objects, entities, and phenomena require special containment procedures are assigned to object classes. An object class is part of the standard SCP template and serves as a rough indicator for how difficult an object it is to contain in the universe. Object classes are for the purpose of identifying containment needs, research priority, budgeting, and other considerations. An SCP object class is determined by the number of factors, but most important factors are the difficulty and purpose of its containment. Primary classes. These are the most common object classes used in SCP articles and make up the bulk of the objects. Safe. Safe class SCPs are anomalies that are easily safely contained. This is object due to the fact that the Foundation has researched the SCP well enough that containment does not require significant resources, that the anomalies require a specific and conscious activation or trigger. Classifying an SCP safe, however, does not mean that handling or activating it does not pose as a threat. For a complete list of safe class articles on the site, click here. Euclid. Euclid class SCPs are an anomaly that require more resources to contain completely or where containment isn't always reliable. Usually this is because the SCP is insufficiently understood or inherently predictable. Euclid is the object class with the greatest scope, and it's usually a safe bet that an SCP will be this class if it does not easily fall into the other categories. As a note, any SCP that are autonomous, sentient, and or sapient is generally classified as Euclid due to inherent unpredictability of an object that can act or think on its own. For a list of Euclid class on site. Keter. Keter class SCPs are anomalies that are exceedingly difficult to contain, consistent, or reliable, with containment procedures often being extensive and complex. Foundation often can't contain these SCPs well due to not have enough solid understanding of the anomaly or lacking the technology to properly contain it or counter it. A Keter SCP does not mean the SCP is dangerous, but that it is simply very difficult and costly to contain. For a complete list of Keter articles on site, click here. Now, Safe, Euclid, and Keter have the most wide range, and now we're going into the less known range, which not many people know about, that are kind of new. Familial class SCPs are anomalies that the Foundation specifically used to contain other SCPs. Even the mere existence of familial class objects is classified at the highest level of the Foundation, and their locations, functions, and current status are known to few Foundation personnel outside of the O5 Council. For a complete list of familial class articles on site, click here. Neutralized. Neutralized SCPs are anomalies that are no longer anomalous, either though have been intentionally or accidentally destroyed or disabled. Apollyon. Apollyon class SCPs are anomalies that cannot be contained or are expected to breach containment imminently, or some other similar scenario. Such anomalies have usually associated with world-ending threats or XK class scenario of some kind, and require a massive effort from the Foundation to deal with. Archon class SCPs that are anomalies that cannot theoretically be contained but are best left uncontained for some reason. Archon SCPs may be part of a content reality that is difficult to fully contain or may have adverse effects if put into containment. These SCPs are not uncontainable. The defining feature of the class is that the Foundation chooses not to put the anomaly in containment. We will not be going into these because I don't really want to read through this stuff right now. It's just kind of questions, and these are just not standard, so you don't really need to know about those unless you're going really deep in. Now we're going to go into security and clearance and skip personnel dossier. This is going to be the last, this is like a complete not a complete overview of everything. Foundation security clearance is granted to personnel representation at the highest level or the type of information in which they cannot be granted access. However, having any given clearance level does not automatically grant access to all information at that level. Personnel are only granted access to information on a need-to-know basis. And at that discussion of the designated disclosure officer overseeing the representative departments. Level 0 for official use only. Level 0 security clearances are given to non-essential personnel with no need to access information regarding anomalous objects or entities. Level 0 access is typically held by personnel in non-secured clearances, logistics, or janitorial positions. Facility with no access to operational data. Level 1 confidential. Level 1 security clearances are given to personnel working in proximity to, but with no direct, indirect, or informational access to anomalous objects or entities in containment. Level 1 security clearances are typically granted to personnel working in clerical, logistics, or janitorial positions at facilities with containment capability or otherwise must handle sensitive information. Level 2 restricted. Level 2 security clearances are given to security and research personnel that require direct access to information regarding anomalous objects and entities in containment. Most research staff, field agents, and containment specialists hold a Level 2 clearance. Level 3 clearance. Level 3 clearance are given to senior security and research personnel that require in-depth data regarding the source, recovering the circumstances, and long-term planning for anomalous objects and entities in containment. Most senior research staff, project managers, security officers, response team members, and mobile task force operatives hold a Level 3 clearance. Level 4 security clearances are given to senior administrators that require access to site-wide and/or regional intelligence as well as long-term strategic data regarding Foundation. Operations and researchers project Level 4 security clearances are typically only held by site directors, security directors, and mobile task force commanders. Level 5 Familial. Level 5 security clearances are given to the highest ranking administrative personnel within the Foundation and grant effectively unlimited access to all strategic and otherwise sensitive data. Level 5 security clearances are typically only granted to O5 council members and selected staff. Personnel classifications, which we won't go through. Class A, we won't really be going through all of these. This is kind of just the main one you really need to know is Class D, which are basically just prisoners that can be used for testing. That's it for now. For this video, if you want to, I will put the link of this website if you want to learn more about the SCP Foundation. And like I said, this was just basically things you might need later. Alright, bye guys.